He opened the door to a soaked and shivering stranger, not knowing that one small act of kindness that night would change everything, his life, his daughter's future, and even the heart of a broken heiress. What started as a single night of shelter became a story of second chances, hidden pain, and unexpected hope. Full story begins. It was the third night in a row that the storm hadn't stopped. Rain pelted down like it was punishing the earth, and the streets in the quiet town of Elmsfield were empty, except for the few who had nowhere else to go. Michael Turner, a 37-year-old single father, was finishing dinner in their modest two-room home when the knock came. He hesitated. Knocks after dark were rare in Elmsfield, especially in this part of town. But his 8-year-old daughter, Lily, looked up from her book and said softly, "Daddy, someone's outside." Another knock. This time weaker, almost desperate. Michael opened the door and was stunned. A young woman stood there, drenched, her hands trembling. She looked no older than 20. Her clothes were expensive but muddy, and her shoes were soaked. She had the look of someone who didn't belong here, but had been through something. I'm sorry. I don't mean to bother you. My car broke down on the highway and I've been walking for hours. My phone died. I don't know anyone here. Could I just sit inside for a while?" she asked, her voice cracking. Michael studied her for a moment. In another life, before he lost his wife, before the bills piled up, he might have thought twice. But now? He understood what it meant to have nowhere to go. "Come in," he said simply. A night of kindness. She stepped in, grateful and exhausted. Michael offered her a towel, warm tea, and even gave her one of his late wife's old sweaters to change into. Lily, ever the curious one, watched her quietly. The woman introduced herself only as Claire. She didn't say much about her family or where she was coming from, but something in her eyes hinted at a deeper sadness. They spent the night talking. Claire was quiet but kind to Lily, helping her with her coloring and even telling her a bedtime story. Before Michael turned in for the night, he brought her a pillow and blanket for the couch. "You can leave in the morning when it's safer," he said. Claire nodded. "Thank you, for trusting me." Michael shrugged. Sometimes, we all just need a break from the storm. The next morning. When he woke up, Claire was still asleep. He let her rest while he prepared breakfast. He noticed her phone charging quietly in the corner. By noon, she was gone. No goodbye note. No explanation. Just gone, like a dream. Michael felt a strange emptiness, but he shook it off. People come and go. He was used to that now. But he didn't know. Claire wasn't just anyone. A hidden life. Claire Emerson wasn't just a stranded traveler. She was the only daughter of Charles Emerson, one of the richest men in the state. She had run away. After the sudden death of her mother, Claire's life had become a prison of corporate deals, cold expectations, and suffocating wealth. Her father, once warm and loving, had buried himself in work, and buried Claire along with him in a mansion of loneliness. So, one night, she just left. No guards, no money, just a backpack, some cash, and her car. But meeting Michael and Lily? That was never part of the plan. 3 weeks later. Michael had just come back from his second shift at the diner. Tired, sweaty, and trying not to worry about the rent due next week. As he tucked Lily into bed, she asked, "Do you think Miss Claire is okay?" Michael smiled sadly. "I think so, sweetheart." The next morning, everything changed. A black luxury car pulled up outside their little home. Michael stepped out, startled, as Claire emerged. This time dry, clean, dressed in a designer coat and flanked by a man in a suit. "I know I disappeared. And I'm sorry," Claire said. "But I never forgot what you did for me. You didn't know who I was. You didn't ask. You just helped. And that meant more to me than I can explain. Michael was speechless. I want to help you, the way you helped me, she said. An unexpected offer. Claire had come not just with thanks, but with a proposal. She had convinced her father to start a community outreach foundation using their wealth. And the first family they wanted to help? Michael and Lily. They were offered a new home, Lily's education fully paid for, and a steady job for Michael, managing the foundation's first local office. Michael was stunned. Why us? Because kindness shouldn't go unnoticed, Claire said softly. And because I believe in second chances too. 2 years later. The little town of Elmsfield had changed. So had Michael. He now ran the Emerson Foundation's community center, helping single parents, homeless families, and struggling kids find a path forward. Lily was thriving at a private school. And Claire? She visited often, not just as a benefactor, but as part of their family. She and Michael never labeled what they were. But love doesn't always need labels. What mattered is that two broken souls had found each other in a storm, and healed together. Closing message to viewers. Sometimes, life's biggest changes begin with the smallest kindness. Michael opened his door to a stranger with no idea who she was. He wasn't expecting anything. But his compassion planted the seed for a future he couldn't have imagined. Never underestimate the power of doing good, even when no one's watching. Because the right heart can change someone's world, and maybe, even your own.